And it's POB with MLB News back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Texas Rangers releasing 37 minor league players. Now, I was not planning to do a video today. I was going to take another day off of the videos. But when I saw this, I am very frustrated with who was released. And you may not understand why, but when I start talking about them, you will understand why I am very frustrated why these minor leaguers were released and why they had to pick these. So if you like this kind of content on the channel, don't forget to leave like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I upload. Make sure to check out my basketball channel. It is POB with Basketball News, and my football channel, POB with Football News. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started off with some of the pitchers they released. The first one being Austin Bibbins-Dirks, which is a player that has been as a journeyman in most of his career. And he's not been that great. He's been with the Frisco Rough Riders, Nashville Sounds, and a little bit with the Texas Rangers for years. The next one is Shane Carle, who I think really had potential to break out in the Rangers farm system. And that's just because he did have a good season with the Atlanta Braves that you may not remember in 2018. The next one is Alex Carrillo, who was in the bottom of their minor league system. This doesn't really matter. Juan Castillo, who was on the Down East Wood Ducks roster before being released. Alex Eubanks, which this is a player that I think other minor league teams may want to pick up. And that's just because he actually did have a good season with the Down East Wood Ducks in 2019. The next one is Nick Gardewine, who is another one who could be picked up by other teams, and that's just because he's pitched in the major leagues before with the Texas Rangers. The next one is Cal Heineke, who I think was in the lower. He was with the AZL Rangers last year, I'm pretty sure, so this one does not really matter. Sam Hellinger, which is someone who I thought would have been on the Crawdads roster to start the 2020 season. Obviously, if it would have started at the right time and stuff. You also have Taylor Jungmann, who has been with the Frisco Rough Riders and Nashville Sounds for each of the last two seasons in the Rangers organization. The next one's Billy Lane, who I think would definitely have been on the Crawdads 2020 roster to start the season. And you've got Arturo Reyes, who was at the bottom of the minor league system for the Rangers, mostly, and was not really that good. You also have Luis Rosario, who was on the Frisco Rough Riders roster. Now, he would have probably not been on that roster, to be honest with you. Scott Williams, who you might remember from the 2015 Crawdads team, and he was really good then. His career's been cut short due to injuries. You also have Brandon Baker, who was also in the lower end of the minor league system. He was with the Spokane Indians. He was on the 60-day IL. You have Justin Lewis, who was just acquired by the Rangers. You have Brandon Mann, Zach Penrod, and Francisco Beliza. And now the catchers is what starts and gets me going if why I have to make this video. Alex Kowalczyk, and he is one of my favorite Crawdads players that have been with the Crawdads through the years. And you may be like, Alex Kowalczyk, why? Well, that's just because he is a super nice player, and I actually got a bat from him. And he seemed to be a pretty nice player, and I really hate to see him go from the Rangers organization. I think he could have really had a great career with the Rangers, and he didn't really have a great 2019 with the Frisco Rough Riders, let's be honest. But I would have liked to see him possibly make the Texas Rangers roster. I would have liked to see him move up to the Nashville Sounds and possibly make the Major League club. But now that's probably not going to be possible just because all these minor league players are being released because there might not be a minor league season, and there's probably not going to be. We also have Kevin Mendoza, which is one that I think needs to be released for a while. Now, I'm not he should have lost his job. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying simply that he's not been that great. Isaiah Torres, who when he's been with the Crawdads, he's been atrocious, terrible, and not really been a big fan of him. Jose Rodriguez, who was on the Crawdads roster, and I wish some of these players would have stayed. Now, some of them I get why you would have released, and that's just because they didn't have that good of 2019, 2018 seasons, whatever. So the infielders are in Trini Cordero, who I think could have had a good minor league career, but who knows if any team will pick him up. These players are going to go into a free agent pool, and who knows if they will be picked up. You also have Yaniri Guzman, who was with the Spokane Indians or the AZL Rangers. I'm not really sure which one it was. And he really, I don't think, was going to move up to the Crawdads or anything. Tyler DePreta Johnson, who had been demoted because a lot of other infielders were on the Down East Wood Ducks roster. This makes a lot of sense as far as roster moves. Now, he didn't have that great of a 2019 season. Stanley Martinez, who I think could have started with the Crawdads. He actually didn't have that bad of a season with the AZL Rangers. The outfielders are Luis Asuncion, who I really thought could have had a great season with the Crawdads in 2020. Obviously, if there would have been a season, I've probably said that 3 or 4 times in this video already. You also have William Jeffrey, who was with the AZL Rangers right now. That's not a big deal. Eric Jenkins, and this is another one of the players that I just hate to see go. And I really hope he gets picked up by a minor league team. Now, if he gets picked up by a minor league team, he will probably be my favorite player on that team just because he gave me a bat, he gave me batting gloves, and he was a really nice player when he was with Hickory. And he was one of my favorite Crawdads players from the last few years. Also, you have Starling Joseph, which I think could have had a bounce-back season in 2020. Now, he didn't have that great of a 2019 season, obviously, if you've been keeping up with the Spokane Indians. Franklin Rowland, who was on the Frisco Rough Riders roster, I didn't think he was going to make the Rangers, obviously, but I thought he possibly could have been with the Down East Wood Ducks to start the season. Chad Smith, which makes a lot of sense because his career has been cut short due to injuries. Now, I thought he could be a good player. Now, if his injuries have not shortened his career, he would have been a much better player, in my opinion. You also got Halson Barrera, who has been around a lot of different teams, Down East Wood Ducks, Spokane Indians. The team that he hasn't been with is the Hickory Crawdads, so I haven't ever seen him play. And your utilities, Josh Altman, who seemed like a really nice player when he was in Hickory, and Rafi Barti, which I think was at the lower end of the Rangers minor league system. Artur Reyes, who is a pitcher, I think. Yes, he's a right-handed pitcher. Was the only person that started Major League camp on the Rangers. So now I'm going to talk about the Crawdads for a second. Now, obviously, a few Crawdads players were on this list. So the Crawdads are only going to have one catcher after this, being Matt Watley, who's on their roster. It's not really going to matter, but still. And Luis Asuncion is going to be gone, so they're going to only have one outfielder on their roster. And, yeah, there's a few players on here that have gave me a bat or whatever, and yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you like this kind of content on the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I upload. And, yeah, I hope these players get picked up by a minor league team, obviously. And I hope they have a great minor league career with those teams. Now, I will still be pulling for these players that I've talked about through this video. That's going to be the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I upload. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with more videos soon.